specifically 8 managerial mistakes that especially first-time leaders will make. Who here is in a management or leadership position already? Okay, a few people. All right, good deal. And let me go the other way. How many of you have ever been in a managerial position and you absolutely dreaded it? It's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people's personality will sort of take to management. For others, it's an acquired taste, if you will. I talk to a lot of people because I do career coaching, and sometimes I'll ask people, well, how did you become a manager in this leadership position or this higher position? And a lot of times they'll tell me, I just sort of fell into it. I was the most qualified person in my team or in my division, and so they just asked me if I wanted to roll up when someone retired or left the company. And so I said, yeah. And a lot of times these people are not happy there because they haven't quite figured out some of the necessary skills to being a manager. Well, there's a myriad of good skills that you do need to have. But first, let me give you 8 mistakes to avoid. Number 1 is treating everyone the same. And on your little worksheet, it should be the same. Treating everyone the same. Now, we think from a spirit of being fair and equitable to everyone that we want to treat everyone the same. And that would be fine if we had a team of 5 or 6 or 8 clones. But people are different. People have different personalities. You have some people who are introverts, you have some people who are extroverts, you have some people who have initiative, some people who do not have initiative. And let's say if you're correcting someone because they made a mistake, but they took the initiative to move forward on something, and that could be a huge benefit for you, how hard do you really want to come down on that? I'll be talking about appreciation here in a little bit. Let's say your company has the employee of the month, and maybe they get their own parking spot. More than that, perhaps they get a photo put in the break room of them, and it says employee of the month. And maybe there's a little reception to celebrate that person and his or her achievement. Now, for a lot of us, that's wonderful. We love that accolade. But for others, that would absolutely mortify them. Some people who are perhaps a little bit more introverted would get just as much appreciation out of a manager coming to them and simply saying, you know what? You did a great job last month. You helped us out. You didn't complain. You were a true team player. And I just want to let you know how much I really appreciate that. And that would be just as much showing of appreciation for that person as a lot of fanfare or plaque or a pizza party or anything else. Number 2 is offensive, obnoxious, rude. I used to say language, but I want to expand that to behavior. Rude behavior. Here's the thing. Most people who are obnoxious don't even know they're obnoxious. I have a family friend of mine who, when she visits our home, she takes it upon herself to sort of straighten up some of the furniture and rearrange some of the picture frames. Oh, okay, I'm hitting close to home now. Okay. So we love her, but perhaps a little obnoxious, a little kind of just stepping over the bounds. Well, she doesn't know. She's just trying to fix something that she feels is not in proper order. So we have to look at ourselves in the mirror. What is there that I do that may be rude, considered insensitive, or a little obnoxious to others? And can we curtail that? Another major mistake that people make is failing to show appreciation at all. And I was talking earlier about the do you have a member, an employee of the month type club? Well, Blaine, how do I know if someone is an extrovert or an introvert? And there you just have to invest time in getting to know that person. but you need to find out what pushes their buttons in a positive way, what drives them, what motivates them, and then show them the appreciation that they really need. An inability to gather information due to poor communication skills. I talk to a lot of leaders and they'll say, oh, communication skills, I'm a great communicator. I don't need communication skills. Huge red flag, huge red flag. Issuing an edict, putting out a command, and giving people orders is not effective communication. That doesn't say that it was received, the message was received well. And you also have to have feedback. Communication, I consider to be really the foundation of good leadership. Not being a role model or leading by example. You have to lead by example. One time when I was in the Army, we were just talking about the fact that I used to be in the Army. And we were preparing for an inspection of the barracks one Thursday morning. So our sergeant told us about this Wednesday afternoon before. No problem, our barracks are generally pretty clean, so we didn't really worry that much for when the sergeant came through the next day. Well, the next day it was not the sergeant. It was the commanding officer of the company of about 100, 120 soldiers. He came through, and we were like, ooh, are we truly prepared for our CO to come through? And the answer real quick is no. No, we were not. We especially knew that when he drug us all into the latrine and showed us how to clean a toilet. So here's this captain in the Army, a West Point grad, who was scrubbing a toilet showing us how it's done. We swore at that point we would never not be completely 100% prepared for an inspection again, because we had a lot of respect for this guy. We really liked him, and there he was, cleaning the toilets. But you know what really struck us? Not just our lack of detail, but the fact that he was willing to show us how it was done. So you must lead by example. That's not to say that you have to do everything all the time. You're not supposed to. You need to delegate. But you also have to be able to show your people how to do some of the most tedious things. Blurring the lines of management by being too friendly. Another huge mistake. Being too friendly. Has anybody here ever managed someone who was also a friend outside of work? That's tough, ain't it? That's really difficult. And how do you get out of the friend zone and into the business? And it takes a lot of responsibility on both parts and a business maturity on part of the manager and the person who's on the team. Being absent or otherwise detached from the organization. I see time and time again where the brightest person on the team will be promoted to management. And that person is bright because they were an expert. They were a technician in what they did. And they get the promotion. And they're still a technician. They're not really seeing to the success of the team itself. Especially in sales organizations, I see this played out time and time again. You never take your number one salesperson and make that individual your sales manager. You don't do it. It's two completely different personalities. But so many times they say, well, you know, Jennifer's really good. She's our top sales lady, so we're going to make her sales manager so she will duplicate herself. Here's the thing. Jennifer doesn't know how to duplicate herself. She's on autopilot when she goes on a sales call. She just does what she does because it's part of her personality. Which brings us back again to mistake number one, treating everyone the same, like you. It just doesn't work. And finally, micromanaging. Not delegating responsibility. Micromanaging. Well, Blaine, it's not that I micromanage, it's just that I have to give everyone on my team the exact details of how something is to be done. That's micromanaging. That's micromanaging. We have to be able to take a deep breath and let go. And allow our teams to develop their own style and how they will reach their success. And that means before they have success, they must have multiple what? Failures, mistakes. But I don't want my team to have mistakes and failures. I understand that. But they will never grow. They will never be successful unless we allow them to discover what works and what does not work. Not just for themselves, but to fit with their personality. After all, that's why we hired them. Because they had a particular personality, we thought they could do the job well. So, always remember there's these 8 different mistakes that I see time and time again. And do your own analysis and ask yourself, are there 3 or 4 or maybe even more of these mistakes that I make myself when I'm in a leadership position? Thank you.
Awesome.